Yo, what's good everybody? Today is the day after Minmin's release, and I have a lot of cool day one tech that I want to show you guys that I think is pretty good for Minmin's neutral, and also is going to make her neutral extremely oppressive. A lot of the tech isn't extremely advanced, but it's going to take some time to learn. Like, it took me minutes to pick up. Yeah, it took me minutes to pick up a lot of these things. I wouldn't try to exaggerate. It was straight minutes, but they are difficult and require muscle memory, and some of them are just pretty simple, but can pull off a lot of cool tricks. So hopefully you enjoy this video and leave a like and share with your friends. Without any more stalling, let's move on into the tech. Alright, so for the first tech, I like to call this tech tilt jumping. You can do it with all three arms. It's actually pretty busted because what happens with tilt jumping is if you press and hold the B or A button, you're going to shoot out your arm, right? It's going to be a straight shot with your arm. However, if you press your A or B button and shoot out your arm and then jump as late as you possibly can, your arm will curve. Now you can also jump early just so you can shoot a straight arm in the air, but the point of this tech here is to get your arm to curve, right? So now you have a curved arm on the ground and now you're in the air. Once you have this setup practiced and done, you can also throw out your other arm to add more oppression from above. And I'm going to show you a really cool tech you can mix in to add that pressure from above and make it really, really bad for your opponent to deal with. Alright, so for the next tech, I like to call this arm dragging. Basically what you're doing is you're going to fast fall while you have your arm shooting out in front of you. That way you create a giant wall for your opponent to try to get around. So the reason this tech is good is because when Minmin's in the air and uses her arms, she sometimes floats, and you don't want that to happen because it makes you vulnerable to attacks because you've been in the air for too long, right? So what this does is it puts the wall in front of your opponent and between you and your opponent basically, and allows you to hit the ground before you normally would. In order to pull this off, you have to hold forward and press either B or A and then wiggle the stick up and down, like forward and down, so you quickly hit the ground. You can do it in a way without wiggling the stick, but wiggling the stick honestly is the easiest way for me to pull it off. Okay. Alright, twin lasers. This one took me a minute to actually comprehend because I've always asked, why the crap would you want to have two dragon arms at once? Like, that just sounds extremely useless in my opinion at first. But later on I discovered that first off, the lasers that come from the dragon arms actually homing attack onto your opponent. So basically, like Sonic's homing attack, it finds your opponent and then just locks him down and shoots. You don't have to aim at all. All you have to do to get the laser to come out is hold the A button and the B button, and then the lasers just come out and aim for you, which is kind of broken, but it's honestly making it a lot easier to pull off the twin dragon move. So in order to pull up the twin lasers / twin dragons tech, twin dragons tech, it's pretty complicated at first because it requires muscle memory, but once you get it down, it's really not that bad. So usually in Smash, in order to do a forward smash, you flick you flick the C stick or control stick forward, and then you press A, and then you get a smash attack, right? In this situation, you're going to use the control stick and A, and you're going to do a smash attack like you usually would, and then press A again. Once you press A again, you're going to get a laser coming out of Minmin's left arm, right? However, you want to get a laser from both arms. So you're going to do forward smash, press A, and then you're going to press B and hold both A and B at that point. And then the first arm's going to shoot the laser, then the second arm's going to shoot the laser. The cool thing about this is, like I said earlier, the laser's homing attack for you. So if your opponent's off stage, you just shoot two lasers out the stage, and then they're just locking on your opponent at all times basically. And it's pretty hard to avoid if you know the timing to throw off your opponent's air dodges or whatever, their recovery mix-ups. It's pretty hard to avoid off stage, to be honest. It's pretty broken, so make sure you pick up on that. Next up, we have Minmin's up smash out of shield and her up B out of shield. Now, out of shield options, all you have to do is literally just do an up smash or an up B out of shield like you normally would without the shield part, okay? So you would shield, press up smash, and then boom, up smash out of shield. Up B out of shield, shield, press up B out of shield. It's really not that hard. Now, the thing that makes this good is Minmin sucks up close. Like, she's really not the best character up close, okay? So when somebody breaks it through your wall and tries to get into your bubble, up smash out of shield is such a good option because it kills at around 110 and up, I believe. And honestly, it's frame 5 out of shield. That's a quick move to use to kill your opponent or get them away from you, and as an out of shield option. So make sure you keep that in mind. Her up B out of shield, it doesn't have invincibility on the first frames. However, it does have invincibility later on. as the frames continue, probably like around frame 5, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head, I'm sorry guys, but it has invincibility. Okay, so you can use that to get out of dangerous situations where you need to get space once again, and it's really not that bad. You keep your double jump after you use it, so you can really reposition yourself to get away from your opponent just by using that. Alright, so this is the tech that's weirdest evolved for me so far, because I don't think any Smash character in the history of Smash has ever been able to do this. So when you die as Min Min, you can actually change your arms when you're on the heaven platform, which most times when you press something on that platform, you drop down. However, you can switch arms and not lose invincibility, and then come down and fight your opponent. The way you do this is, as soon as you die and you're respawning, there's a tight window. It's pretty tight. What you got to do is you have to press down B in that moment, and then you get the next arm. I don't know if you can get 2 arms out of this because it's pretty hard to pull off. I haven't labbed it entirely, but I know you can get 1 arm skip from there. So let's say you died with Ram Ram. You can come back and get Megawatt. It's literally insane. So your opponent has to watch out at all times for what you're picking, and it's honestly pretty hard to pick up on if they don't really know that this tech even exists. So keep that in mind. It's a pretty cool tech to pull off that. It's one of my favorites. I found it out on accident. Alright, so this next tech is basic as crap, but it's very important because when we watched Sakurai play Min Min, he was just going for smash attacks and everything. And we thought, okay, well, maybe that's how you play Min Min. Well, I took a step back and I was like, maybe let me use my tilts a little bit more, right? So I tried using my tilts, and then I realized you can walk back and walk forward with them, which is basic, we all know, but the thing is, what I did realize what's really important is you can walk back for a really long time. And I didn't think it was that long. Like, you can actually move around while your tilts are out and while they're gone, and Min Min is still facing your opponent, kind of like Ken and Ryu, which is kind of crazy. So keep that in mind when you're trying to fight your opponent and try to space them out. Use your tilts a lot more than walk around. So basic tech, but can really change your gameplay. Alright, so switching with Min Min's arms changes your frame data. A lot of you guys might not know what frame data is if you're new, but frame data is basically how fast your moves come out and how fast everything works in this game. So with Min Min, Megawatt is her slowest option, alright? Dragon arms are your medium-ish option, and then Ram Ram's your fastest option. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you use the proper arm for the proper situations, alright? So Megawatt is pretty slow, but it's very strong. Ram Ram, pretty weak, but extremely fast, and your dragon arms are pretty regular in speed and strength, alright? Like, they're pretty average. So you want to make sure you use the proper arm for the proper situations. So Min Min's ledge trapping is kind of broken because she's literally like nowhere near the ledge, but she's still able to ledge trap and edge guard actually, which is pretty crazy. But I found out something. So with Min Min, it turns out Ram Ram and dragon arms, their spacing for ledge trapping is completely different. So depending on how you want to edge guard your opponent or ledge trap your opponent, you have to space yourself appropriately to catch them off guard. With Ram Ram, if you want to get the Ram Ram off ledge, you have to be right next to the number 5, like the block right next to it on the right, and right in between that block in that area, and just spam your Ram Ram. And that's how it works with the F smash. If you want to be able to get the dragon, you have to move a little bit more back and aim the dragon over the ledge. If not, the dragon's going to point its head and shoot the laser up, and that's not what you want most of the time. You want to be able to go off stage and hit your opponent. So keep that in mind. You have to know your spacing when using your F smashes with this character. Basically, like, as you play this character, it's going to be muscle memory. Like, you're not even going to have to think about it when you want to space yourself properly. It's not even going to be hard for y'all at some point. So just keep that in mind. So I found out something pretty cool. You can actually use A/B smash in the air to shoot both your arms and make them smash attacks, which is pretty broken. So when you're in the air, just do a forward smash like you would, but press A and B at the same time, and both arms are going to shoot out and do a smash attack for you, which is pretty good for edge guarding, because if you're using the lasers, like I said earlier, they'll just aim for you and shoot your opponent off. If you're using Megawatt, you get an early kill. Ram Ram, a Gimp, it's crazy. This character is absolutely insane. So this weird tech is kind of awkward. I don't know how I even found this out, Loki. So if you do a short hop with Ram Ram or a full hop of the other 2 weapons, you're going to be able to hover in the air for a split second, and you can actually shoot your other arms out. So what you do in the situation is you short hop or full hop with whatever arm you have, and then either you press the A button or the B button, depending on what arm you want to extend first, and then whichever arm comes out, you're going to land and get both arms to shoot out. The opposite arm will shoot out. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to explain, so I'll say it again. Short hop, full hop, press A or B, and then you're going to get your neutral special. Short hop, full hop, press A or B, and then you're going to get your neutral air. And before you hit the ground, Min Min's going to hover. The moment she hovers, press the opposite button and hold both buttons, okay? And then Min Min is going to shoot out both arms when she's on her way to the ground, which is pretty cool because you basically tell your opponent, you can't approach me from above, but I can still shoot stuff from below if you're still trying to stay on the ground. So keep that in mind, but it's not too good because if they know that you're going for that, they can still approach you from above. It's just to scare them into not being able to approach you from above. But if you do have Ram Ram though, Ram Ram can actually cover from above if your opponent's trying to jump from above. So keep all of that in mind. Very complicated character. And I'm very sorry that it's really this confusing to learn this character. It's confusing for me to explain it, guys. It's actually insane. Alright, so for the last tech, it's a combination between tilt jumping and arm dragging. Alright, so it's pretty cool because like I said earlier, you can shut down your opponent's neutral option by just throwing out two arms in separate directions and bringing Min Min back to the ground before all of that stuff is done. Okay, so with this tech, what you're going to do is you're going to shoot out a tilt and then jump, and now you have an arm on the ground that's curved and already applying pressure to your opponent. And then immediately after that, you're going to press side A or forward B, and then you're going to get another arm coming out. You're going to fast fall and drag that arm with you. It doesn't really work too well with Ram Ram unless your opponent jumps, so it's really good for catching your opponent's jump with Ram Ram. And for Megawatt, it's really, really good if your opponent's still staying on the ground or if they're shielding. It adds really good pressure in front of them, and it can kill people off like that. It's very good at ledge as well. So keep that stuff in mind. Hopefully all these techs was able to help you guys out, and I'll catch you guys later.